Good morning, grade 7 learners. Welcome to another episode of Valenzuela Live. I am Sir Nancy Bug from Polo National High School, and I will be your virtual science teacher for today. For today's lesson, you will learn to recognize that substances are classified into elements and compounds. Specifically, you will learn to differentiate elements from compounds based on their composition from the given chemical names and formulas of elements and compounds. Here's a few reminders before we start with our discussion. First, use the chat box in asking and answering questions. Second, is to use appropriate words when chatting in the comment section. To start with our discussion, I have here a cabinet with different substances. We have pure silver chain, sugar, water, mercury, salt, oxygen gas, and neon lights, which is made of neon gas. The question is, how many elements and compounds do you think there is in this cabinet? You can type your answer in the comment section. Again, so how many elements and compounds did you find? Correct. There are 4 elements and 3 compounds. The 4 elements are silver from the pure silver chain, mercury, a liquid metal found in thermometer, oxygen gas inside the oxygen tank, and the neon gas from the neon light. Meanwhile, sugar, water, and salt are considered as compound. The big question is, what is an element and what is a compound? Elements are simple substances that which cannot be further broken down. It is composed of one or single atom represented by 1 or 2 letters. Examples of elements are hydrogen, oxygen, sodium, and chlorine. But there are lots of elements. Collection of elements arranged in increasing atomic number can be found in the periodic table of elements or simply the periodic table. Each element in the periodic table is unique. That's why it occupies a specific place in the periodic table. Now you know what an element is. Are you now ready to know what compounds are? When elements combine with another element, a new substance is formed, and that is a compound. Compounds are composed of 2 or more different substances that are chemically combined. Here's an example. When sodium is combined with chlorine, it will produce sodium chloride, or commonly known as table salt, with a chemical formula of NaCl. How many elements are there in the salt compound? Correct. There are 2 elements, sodium and chlorine. The reason why sodium chloride or table salt is a compound. Here's another example. If you combine 2 hydrogen atoms with 1 oxygen atom, you will again form a compound called water or H2O. How many atoms are there in water? Correct. There are 3 atoms, 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. How many elements are there? Two. We have the elements hydrogen and the element oxygen. Therefore, water or H2O is an example of a compound. And again, compounds should be composed of 2 or more different elements chemically combined. Now, let us see whether you understand our lesson or not. Click the like react if what I will show here is an example of an element, and the heart react if what I will show here is an example of a compound. So, let's start. The first one is Carbon with a chemical symbol C. Is it an element or a compound? Click your answer. Okay, majority press the up. It is correct. C is an element, carbon. Next one. We have carbon combined with 2 oxygens. Is it an element or a compound? Click your answer. Okay, I see that majority press the heart button, and that is correct. This is carbon dioxide, a compound. For the last one, we have hydrogen combined with another hydrogen. Is it an element or a compound? Okay, so some click the like buttons while the other clicks the heart button. Now let's analyze. Since it is composed of 2 same hydrogen atoms, still this is an element. For us to learn more about the elements, we should know its properties by looking at the basic atomic structure in the periodic table. Every element in the periodic table has these parts: the atomic number, the number of protons an element has, the chemical symbol, and the chemical name. For this example, C is the chemical symbol for carbon, and the atomic mass, which is the mass of the particles inside the atom. Now you know the parts of the elements in the periodic table. As I have said, every element is represented by a symbol. Each symbol is distinct for every element. There are elements and compounds that are essential for all life forms. From the food we eat, we can obtain essential elements to our body to develop and function properly. These are called minerals. Those that are essential for health includes calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, magnesium, iron, zinc, iodine, chromium, copper, manganese, selenium, and many more. Minerals can be classified into 2 that can either be microminerals or macrominerals. Microminerals which the body requires in small amount, while macrominerals are minerals which the body requires in large amount. Examples of macrominerals are calcium, which we can get from eating cheese, green leafy vegetables, and drinking milk. Calcium is essential in the formation and maintenance of bones and teeth. What is the symbol for calcium? Can you type your answer in the comment section? Okay, the correct chemical symbol for calcium is Ca, capital letter C and small letter A. The next macromineral is sodium, with a chemical symbol of Na. Sodium can be obtained from eating salt, meat, and salt-processed foods. Its function is to regulate the amount of body fluids and involved in nerve transmission. We also have potassium, which we can get from eating bananas, potatoes, dried fruits, and by drinking orange juice. Potassium is needed to maintain the regular heartbeat and water balance in the body. For microminerals, we have chlorine, which we can get from seafoods and fluorinated drinking water. Chlorine helps strengthen our bones and teeth. Iron is also an example of micromineral, which we can obtain from eating liver, meat, green leafy vegetables, whole grains, and cocoa beans. Iron is an important component of hemoglobin and myoglobin. And we also have iodine. Iodine is also a micromineral which can be found in seafoods, and iodized salt. Iodine is part of thyroxine, and deficiency of this mineral may result to goiter. Now, let us wrap up our discussion. To summarize our discussion or our lesson, we will compare elements from compounds based from their composition, how it is written, and example of such. For elements, it is composed of only one type of atom. For compounds, it is composed of two or more different atoms that are chemically combined. Elements are written using chemical symbols, while compounds are written using chemical formula. Examples of elements are hydrogen, oxygen, cobalt, and helium. Elements are written starting with a capital letter. If it is composed of two letters, the second letter is written in small character. Compounds like water or H2O is composed of hydrogen and oxygen. CO for carbon monoxide is composed of carbon and oxygen. Sugar is with a formula of C12H22O11 is composed of 12 carbons, 22 hydrogens, and 11 oxygen atoms. For essential elements, we have macrominerals and microminerals. We can compare macromineral from micromineral in terms of the amount they needed by our body. Macrominerals are needed in our body in large amount, while microminerals are needed in smaller amount. Both minerals are essential for our body to function normally. Calcium and magnesium and potassium also are examples of macrominerals. We have chlorine, iron, and iodine as our example for microminerals. Now, at this point, I will answer questions that are posted in the comment section. The first question comes from Polo National High School. How can we tell if a substance is an element or a compound if both is written in two letters? Okay. If the substance is written in both capital letters, then it is a compound. If the first letter is written in capital and the second one is written in small, that is an element. Okay? Next question comes from Dalandanan National High School. What is the difference between elements and compounds? Just like what I've mentioned during our discussion, elements are composed of only one type of atom, while compounds are composed of two or more different elements that are chemically combined, and they cannot easily be separated. Question number 3, we have one from Parada National High School. Are iron from metal grills and iron from eating liver the same? No, they're not. Iron from liver is a food grade and can be ingested, while the iron from the metal grills is non-food grade, which cannot be eaten. Further discussion about food grade and non-food grade will be tackled on the next FB live stream. So, that's all for today. Good day, everyone, and keep safe.